Okay, some of you may recognize this. This is a multi-cooker. Instant Pot is the brand name. It's basically a pressure cooker, but it does some other things. It does some slow cooking, sauteing. There's all sorts of it. I haven't even touched the surface of all the things it can do. I got it for Christmas last year. I know it was a popular gift. And so I like to do some recipes with it from time to time. I'm not going to say that it can get rid of every single one of your appliances in your kitchen. Hang on to those just in case you want to do some things, another method. But I am going to share with you today a recipe that I've done several times. I found it in a community of people who share recipes that have the same cooker. And it really is great for a family weeknight meal, and it's so easy. It starts with ground beef. I'm using the saute method for the Instant Pot here. We're just going to get that browned up just like you would if you were doing it on the stovetop. And it's going to have some spaghetti sauce in it. It's going to have some beef broth. It's going to have some shells, pasta shells, some seasonings, some instant soup mix in the package. So it's really just a dump and go. It's very easy. So what I'm going to do is just let this beef brown up, and then we will finish with the recipe. Alrighty, here we are. We've been browning this ground beef for a couple of 3 minutes and it's all done. So what we're going to do on our Instant Pot is we're going to push cancel because we're going to take it off of the saute mode. And we're going to start dumping things in so we can finish it out. I just have a jar of my favorite tomato sauce, or pasta sauce. This is 24 ounces. So we will dump that in. And then what we do is we fill that with half beef broth. This is just like you would find in a can. And since this was a 24-ounce jar, I did 12 ounces of beef broth. We're gonna do the rest with water. So that'll be half and half. And then we will just dump that in there. Then we take one of these packets of soup mix. That's going to go in there. Give you lots of flavor. Just a little bit of salt. What I found sometimes with the pressure cooker here is that you have to kind of season a little more aggressively than you would. This is garlic powder. Because it tends to lose some flavor, but these soup mixes, you're going to have plenty of flavor with this. I've done it many times and it's come out great every time. And there's nothing to be afraid of. It's, you know, the steam releases. It might scare you the first time. It might make the dog bark, I've heard people say. But it's not going to, as long as you follow all those procedures, I haven't heard of any horrible things happen. Not going to be a This Is Us moment. So you're going to put the pasta shells in there and make sure they are submerged. So we make sure that the pasta shells are all submerged in the liquid. And now what we're going to do is actually do the pressure cooking mode. So we go to pressure cooker and we're going to set it to, for this particular recipe, 4 minutes. Then secure the lid on. Make sure this little steam valve is to closed back here to sealing. And then it'll take a few minutes to come up to pressure. The little float valve will show that it's at pressure, and then it'll cook for 4 minutes, and we'll do a release and show you what happens afterwards. Okay, so as you'll notice, it has switched over from on to the time we set, 4 minutes. It took about 10 minutes for the pot to come up to pressure, and we knew it was up to pressure when the little button in the back floated to the top, indicating that. It sort of hissed at me. Don't be alarmed about that. While it's coming up to pressure, it kind of goes back and forth with some noises and a little bit of steam coming out. But then it comes to pressure, it'll show a countdown for our time. It will go backwards down to 0. When it does that, we're going to perform what we call a natural, not a natural release, a quick release. That is when we take the little sealing button back here and we put it to venting, and all the steam's going to come out. That's kind of fun. We'll show you. All right, if you hear that beeping, it means we have reached 0. Our 4 minutes is up. So as soon as we hear the beeping stop, we're going to do what they call a quick release, releasing all that steam at once. So here we go. Nothing to be afraid of. Just don't put your face over it. There it goes. Just keep your hands out of the way. Don't put your face over it. It's going to take a little bit for all that steam to come out. And then once that little flip valve drops, it will be safe for us to open. The seal will be broken, and then we can add our cheese and stir it up and have something really yummy for dinner. Okay, our little flip valve has dropped. All the steam has released, so now we open. Let's know that sound. Lift up. I will tell you, this is steaming hot. You get a good facial. Don't try to dip a fork in there and eat it right now because it will burn your mouth. Stir in some cheese. We can always put cheese on top. And this is going to thicken as it sits. Don't worry about it being a little runny at first, a little soupy, but the flavor is going to be all there. So that just melts kind of naturally. I'm going to cancel it so we stop a cooking process. I will go ahead and dish some of it up, just so you see, and we always kind of add some more cheese on top. And there's no reason you couldn't totally do this on the stovetop. Just maybe boil your noodles separately and do it like a sauce like you would. And taste, it's gonna be hot. Oh, they're so good. Oh, it's comfort food. Tell you what, so whether you do it on the stovetop or if you have the pressure cooker you've been hesitant to try, this is a good one. Try it.